Weather and get your local forecast at almanac.com.
The Old Farmer's Almanac, sponsored by the Farmers Bank of Appomattox, with branch locations in Appomattox, Dillwyn, and in Farmville at 1508 South Main Street. Our time, 8:06. Time now for the Call Flow Radio Show.
Good morning. It's the Call Flow Radio Show, and you're on the air.
It is the Call Flow Radio Show here on WFLO AM 870. We're streaming online at WFLO.net. We're broadcasting live from the Francis E. Wood studio in downtown Farmville, and I am John Staten, and our special co-host today, he's making sure the soundproof booth here is working.
I'm just putting the glue back on to make sure they don't fall off. But
Dan Albus. Good morning, Dan. How are you this morning?
Good morning, John. I'm so glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad to see you.
It's a great day to be here.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yes, it has.
But goodness, we have a phone call already. But it's nice. You know, you mentioned the Francis E. Wood Broadcast Studios. Mm-hmm. It's been a couple of years now since we lost. I was thinking about him the other day.
Yeah.
And when I got the text last week asking me if I could come in and do the Call Flow show with you, I said, yeah. I said, great.
Glad to have you.
Glad to come in. Yeah. Good to be here.
Good to have you, Dan. All right, let's see who our first caller is. Good morning. You're on the Call Flow Radio Show.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm glad I finally reached you guys. DJ CJ RO of the Oswald 2 Hours, he found out I was making fun of him, and so he trapped me inside your cell phones. I can't go live anymore.
What?
I don't know, but okay.
Are you trapped in the cell phone now?
Yeah, I'm
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on?
No, like DJ CJ RO went to the store like next door and found out how to do some stuff, and now I'm trapped inside your cell phones, guys.
Oh, well.
Okay.
And for some reason I can only contact you during call flow.
Interesting.
What would you like us to do to help you?
I don't know. I guess also consult to the store next door. Give them bribes.
The store next door. Is that store next door?
Yes.
Here he's talking about.
I believe so.
Yeah. You gotta do something.
We have to
for me,
make
guys.
some kind of incantation, I guess. And,
I guess.
maybe we'll burn some incense for you. And,
Get Mr. Predicto on the case or something. I don't know.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you?
Doing good.
All right.
but he's trapped in a cell phone.
He's
so
trapped
he can't
in
be so good.
Yeah, well,
you know.
for being trapped in a phone, he sounds pretty chipper.
Yeah, at least you can listen to it and know all the calls.
All right.
On the flow.
I hope your day is all right.
Oh, it's very all right.
All right. Well, you take care, Sean.
Right. You as well. Just want to see how you're doing.
All right. Thanks for checking in.
Of course.
Okay. Bye. All right. That was Sean. That was our intern. By the way. Yes.
Yeah, I saw him on Facebook.
Okay.
I heard him a couple of, but like I say, it's good. I love interns. That's my granddaughter. I told you about my granddaughter is interning right now.
Right.
She's,
and where's she at now?
University of Tennessee Hospital.
Oh, okay.
She doctor of pharmacology,
mm-hmm.
and she just graduated a few months ago, so now she's over there.
Well, good.
Hey, I got the day in history. You want to cover that?
Sure.
July 28th, 1790. Here we go. In 1794.
Yeah.
Please forgive me with these names. It was Maximilien Robespierre and Louis Antoine de Saint.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were executed by guillotine during the French Revolution.
Okay.
They'd probably welcomed being trapped in a cell phone. 1914, World War I began. On this date, Austria and Hungary declared war on Serbia. It was 1945, a U.S. Army B-25 bomber crashed into the 79th floor of New York's Empire State Building, the world's tallest structure at that particular time.
Right.
14 people died because of that.
Wow.
In 1965, President Lyndon B. Johnson announced he was increasing the number of American troops in South Vietnam from 75,000 to 125,000. I believe that went up again a year or so later.
Mm-hmm.
In 1984, the Los Angeles Summer Olympics opened. 14 Eastern Bloc countries, led by the Soviet Union, boycotted the Games, and now they're coming back there in a couple of years.
Okay.
The Summer Olympics. In 1995, a jury in Union, South Carolina, rejected the death penalty on this date for Susan Smith, sentencing her to life in prison. She's the one who, big story in 95, drowned her 2 young children. I believe she was paroled last year.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I think she's out.
Okay.
1996, 8,000-year-old human skeletal remains, later referred to as Kennewick Man. They were discovered in the bank of a Columbia River in Kennewick, Washington. 2004, on this date, by the way, the Irish Republican Army, the IRA, formally announced an end to their armed campaign against British rule in Northern Ireland. I'm going to do a couple of more. 2015, it was announced that Jonathan Pollard, he was the former U.S. Naval Intelligence analyst. He had spent 3 decades in prison for spying for Israel. He had been granted parole. And in 2019, on this date, a gunman opened fire at a popular garlic festival in Gilroy, California. Killed 3 people. A garlic festival.
Yeah.
Of all things.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's our date in history on this date.
All right.
Some interesting stuff.
Always, and there's things we can still probably add to it.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a next caller here and say good morning. You're on the Call Flow Radio Show.
All right, this is me. I hope that's you.
Hey, Henry, guess who I have with me today?
Beg pardon?
Guess who I have with me here in the studio today?
George Jones.
Close. Dan Alvis.
George Jones, a lot better looking, Henry. Yeah. I'm in here with John today, and it's good to hear from you. I thought you only called on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
All right. Well,
Henry, how have you been? How have you been?
Doing very well for somebody in my condition.
Well, we all are. Yeah, as a matter of fact.
Think of you often, man.
Well, I think of you, too. As a matter of fact, talking about you yesterday, a mutual friend of ours actually said he just talked to you not long ago. And I told him, I was coming in here tomorrow. I said, maybe Henry will call,
Yeah.
That was Paul Foote, I think. You probably know Paul. Yeah. And I saw him yesterday.
Call Monday through Friday.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I hear you once in a while. I spend a lot of time in Richmond going back and forth, but I do get to hear you, and it's always a pleasure.
Thank you. You know, I hold you in such high honor.
Well, I appreciate
I always
that.
have.
Yeah.
No, I'm very serious. I don't get to tell you very often, but I do want you to. You already knew that, but I want to say it publicly.
Well, I appreciate that. I always said Henry has always been a living legend. When I first came to Flow, I had listened to you before when I used to drive through Farmville. You were just so good. I mean, you really are. People don't realize, all the years you spent in radio. Just very unique. It's one of those unique individuals. I remember asking you, if you remember, I asked, why, Henry, do you ever consider going to a major market? And you had some offers, especially in country music stations. And but you stayed home. I appreciated that. Community station.
Yeah. Well, this is where I was supposed to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The thought of leaving was terrible.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was offered a job at a station, one of the big stations in Richmond.
Yeah.
And I had John Wilson, who was my manager. He was the manager of the station there here. John got on the phone and called the guy out and called him out for offering me a job. I thought that was kind of funny.
Well, you were kind of the voice of Farmville for many, many, many years there.
Yeah, almost 70.
Wow.
I know. That's got to be some kind of record in Virginia.
Yeah, it was. It was a record in 1984.
Oh.
No, 2004, excuse me.
Yeah, 2004.
Yeah, I had been 50 years. in the same station, and that was the record then. And of course,
And still went another dozen or so years.
Put in a few more,
Yeah.
and still putting in a little time with Flo.
Well, we appreciate you. We really do.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm kind of like the story of Secretariat. I'm the horse's tail.
Well, I read the other day where Secretariat has fathered something like 100 and some. So you're in good company, man.
Yeah, thank you. I've been told the tire was full of hot air, and so are you, Henry. I've heard that.
I think I said the last Kentucky Derby that's had this year, I think they said all of those horses in there, with the exception of one, could trace their genealogy back to Secretariat.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was like that. Yeah.
This is a true little thing. The local headlines in the paper. This was in Farmville, and it hadn't been that long ago. And it said, and of course I added some on to it, but what the paper headline said in big letters: loggers ask for tax breaks. But as I read it, the way my version of it, it says, loggers ask for tax breaks, and sure enough, the tax broke them.
Yeah.
So that was fulfilled right away.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
I never said this about you. I wouldn't even say it about Noah. Police were looking for him because his nose was on the run.
Here we go.
I think I blew that.
You blew that one, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Police chased two weevils. You've heard of the boll weevil in Texas. Police chased two weevils and caught the big one because the little one was the lesser of two weevils.
Okay.
And his old cow was a Jersey, but he got another one, and she became known as the New Jersey cow. So that's how that all started.
Right.
Oh, my goodness.
Do y'all want me to keep talking, or y'all got? I do have a story.
Okay.
Real serious story. In the mid-1980s, there's a little girl named Elizabeth Andrews in Farmville, and she had leukemia. And she was at Southside Hospital. And I visited her a number of times in the hospital there. And I prayed for her. She never had anything much to say back. And in a way, I suffered anguish for her on her behalf. I really did. And as I said, I prayed for her there and elsewhere. And one day after she came home, she was walking for exercise near her home, which was on High Street in Farmville. And I was walking for exercise on the other side of the street. And I saw her across the street from where I was. And suddenly my voice called out to her, Elizabeth, whatever you ask Jesus for right now, he will give it to you. But ask him right now. She made no comment to me. And I thought, well, Lord, why did I not go across the street and put my hand on her, which had happened a few times with other patients. And it went through me that to someone watching and not knowing the situation, it would not look proper for a dude to cross the street and put his hand on this little girl. But some 35 years later, we understand she's beautiful, cancer-free young lady.
That's great.
So I praise the Lord for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll never forget it. She would barely say anything, but she was only 6 years old at the time she was in the hospital. But I'm glad I got to talk with you for a moment today.
Oh, we're glad you called, Henry.
Thank you for sharing.
And well, let's put it this way. Dan, you're one of my heroes.
I need you to call my wife. Yeah.
Well, anyway.
But I appreciate that,
so
Henry.
Good
I've always held you in high regard, and always one of those, a true godly man. When I always tell people, Henry and God, he's on a first name basis with God.
He called me a dog, and I called him I don't know. It was the first name, though. And no. I make light of it.
Yeah.
To keep from crying, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's very touching.
Well, think about you often,
I
I live in Crewe, and people in Crewe still ask, but they ask me about you, and I said, gosh, I've been running back and forth to Richmond. I haven't had much of a chance to talk to them, but
well, I hope I get to talk to you again.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. In the meantime, remember, there's the old saying I used to use.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, that's where you'll be. So, with that little bit of philosophy, we'll bid you adieu for today.
All right, Henry.
You take care, Henry.
God bless you, man.
Day.
Take care of yourself. Keep in touch. All right.
I appreciate it, and I'm counting on the Lord taking care of me. I can't do it myself.
Yeah, I know. He will.
Amen.
Thank you, Henry.
All right. Talk to you soon.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. That was Henry Fulcher calling in, and it was good because you haven't spoken to him in a while.
I have not. It's been he called. Actually, I was a couple of months ago. He called me. I was coming back from Richmond, and we got to talk a little bit then. And then I've been busy, tied up.
Oh yeah.
And but some of the people in Crewe still will call him once in a while,
Right.
and then they tell me, and they ask about him all the time over there. So he's still a legend.
Oh
Still
yeah.
a living
Always
legend.
will be.
Everybody in. A lot of the younger people now, you talk to somebody younger, they don't, what? Who?
Well, if you say Clint Eastwood and they look at you like who?
Yeah, who?
Yeah, it's like, well, then the rest of us are in real bad shape.
Oh, well, he was talking about walking. It brought me up because I've that's one of the things I haven't had able to do. Haven't been able to walk, especially this year. I mean, it's either one of two things since it's spring.
Yeah.
It's either wet.
Yeah.
Where we had rain every day, or else it's over 100 degrees.
Yeah.
There's no in between there.
No.
It rained it's like every day it's rained since April, and then all of a sudden it stops, but it gets up to 100 degrees.
I heard someone saying something about it being one of the wettest summers we've had in some time.
Oh, we've had, it's been several years. We had one a few years ago, I remember. But this is, it's just a ton of rain we seem to have. But and I was thinking about, I got to get back out and walk again. It's, I lost my dogs last year, my last one, so we used to walk 1 to 2 miles a day.
I remember you always telling me that.
I've been busy. I haven't been able to do that. But I did come across a report here. Researchers have done researchers say the best thing you can do is take at least 10,000 steps a day. No matter how fast you walk.
Right.
So I went and figured that up. You know how long 10,000 steps are?
No.
5 miles.
Wow.
So, now I was walking 1 or 2
They're
miles
saying
a
that's
day.
the least you should be doing?
Well, they say that's what they used to say, to be really healthy. But now they're saying 7,000 steps a day could be enough to boost your brain power and also help protect you against a bunch of diseases. And this is a major study they did. They said that really walking helps reduce a lot of health issues. And they even say that includes cancer, dementia, heart disease, things like that.
Yeah.
But 10,000 steps, 5 miles, I don't think it did that with my dogs. But now they also say, and they tracked 160,000 adults in this study. And they said even if you walk 2,000 steps a day, it will still help.
Okay.
So that's only about a mile. So
Right.
that's more.
It's more
people
my
can do
speed.
that. Yeah, it's more your. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, mine too. So I recommend people. If you can't do anything, just get out and walk.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how old you are. That type of thing. But
I'll go through things where, I'll do the walking for a while, and then I find myself falling out of it, and it's tough to get back into it again.
well, there's this story about people start walking the Appalachian Trail. And a lot of them want to try to complete it. But, I didn't realize, I knew it was long, but it's 2,197 miles long, starting up in New England, coming back. But halfway is a place called Gardner, Pennsylvania. And in that halfway place, there's this general store called the Pine Grove Furnace General Store. And this year they said, if you're hiking the trail all the way through, and if you attempt to complete the trail in one trip, well, you have the opportunity to mark your midway point here at their place by consuming a half gallon of ice cream for $12.
Okay.
And if you complete that challenge, you get a wooden spoon.
Ooh.
And the record for doing that is less than 4 minutes.
Wow.
50 hikers so far this summer have done that. Have gone on and done the half-gallon challenge at the ice cream place.
All right.
The thing is, when you're walking that much, you're consuming all of these calories.
Yeah.
So doing half a gallon of ice cream apparently doesn't hurt.
I guess
You do
not.
that.
If you're going to burn off that much.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
It is.
One hiker said, he started off. And he said to do that, you need to consume 6,000 calories per day when you're walking all day, especially on that trail grueling hike.
Right.
And he said, one hiker, his trail name was Hyena, and he wrote in the store's notebook. They get to sign in and do all of that stuff. He said, it was very fun for the first 15 minutes. Now I and my family want to die.
Wow.
I can't imagine just taking off and doing that.
No,
Anyway.
me either. Well, we got, 2 minutes? You got anything else before we get to the bottom of the hour?
For 2 minutes, there's something I want to get into a little bit later.
Okay.
Because Nielsen did some ratings, so I'll do it after we do the
Is
half-hour
that TV
break.
or what is that?
Yeah, for TV, what people are watching,
okay.
streaming for the first half of this year, I think is kind of interesting.
Okay.
And then we can talk about some movies. But LeBron James, who you know, apparently he got his attorney and he sent a cease and desist order to this AI company because this AI company had created AI videos of LeBron James being pregnant.
Okay.
It's called 404 Media. And it wasn't just LeBron James, but there's a picture of LeBron spread out with this pregnant belly,
Oh, boy.
holding, ready to have a baby.
Yeah.
And he says, I don't like that.
I don't like that.
I want you so he kind of threatened him legally. He said,
Yeah.
don't do that. But they've been doing this with a lot of celebrities
Okay.
doing AI and they're not the only company doing that. But just to let people know, they have to let people know, by the way, these videos are fake. They have to put a thing down to the bottom. They have to let people, who has to know that this video is fake?
Well, that's a good question.
Anyway.
That's what do they call those? They usually
Disclaimer.
Run them. Yeah, there we go. Disclaimer.
Yeah, they had to disclaim
Yeah.
by the way, these are fake. LeBron's not really pregnant.
Well, that's good to know. If he delivers, it's on the court. There we go. I had my Henry moment there. All right, so we're at the bottom of the hour. We'll knock out some official things we need to do, and then we'll get right back to some stories of the Nelson's rating. I want to hear about that. Nielsen. Sorry.
Yeah.
Ricky Nielsen. All right, this edition of The Weather is brought to you by the Bank of Charlotte County.
Hello, I'm Stuart Wilborn, manager of the Bank of Charlotte County Loan Office in downtown Farmville. I invite you to call or come by and see me about your loan needs. Whether it's time to purchase investment property, build your dream house, expand your business, or purchase timberland or farmland, you will find old school personal assistance with attention to detail. Stop by our office at 216 North Main Street or call us at 391-1136. The Bank of Charlotte County, giving you more for your banking needs. Member FDIC and Equal Housing Lender.
All right, for today, mostly sunny with a high today near 93. Heat index values as high as 102 with a calm. Wait a minute. This thing jumped on me. All right, let me try this again. Mostly sunny today with a high near 93. Heat index values as high as 103. Calm wind becoming north around 5 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight with a low around 73 and a calm wind. Mostly sunny Tuesday, high near 95. Heat index values as high as 102 with a calm wind. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 73 and a calm wind. 20% chance of showers. Thunderstorms Wednesday, a high near 97 with a light south wind. Wednesday night, it's a 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms, and look for amounts less than 1/10 of an inch. Right now in Farmville, humidity is 94%. Winds are calm. Barometer 30.06. Fair skies here in Farmville, 79 here at WFLO AM, the Bank of Charlotte County with branch locations in Phoenix, Charlotte Courthouse, Brookneal, and their loan office in downtown Farmville. The birthday calendar is brought to you by Terry Atkins Wilson, PC. The law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC is located at 117 North Main Street in downtown Farmville. With deep roots in Farmville and our surrounding communities, Terry and her legal staff specialize in real estate law, wills and trusts, and business formations. Experience and professionalism are extended to every customer in every case. The needs and concerns of every customer are their primary focus. If you have legal needs, contact the law office of Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, for a consultation at 434-392-1422. All right, here we go. Birthdays for today, Monday, the 28th of July, and we're going to have Dan Albus read those names for us here. Dan, take it away.
You lost me at 103.
Sorry.
He's here. People born on this date, July 28th.
Your mic's going in and out for some reason.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. Not sure what's going on there.
Can you hear me now?
No. I can hear you wrestling with the mic.
How about now?
No, still nothing.
I think we got a loose cord here.
Probably.
There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
Sweet spot.
All right, just a loose cord.
All right.
Brittany, I believe this is Brittany Haug, H-A-U-G, having a birthday today on the 28th. And it just went out again, didn't it?
Yeah, it did for a little bit.
Also, Patricia Skinnick, having a birthday today. And we have one anniversary to tell you about. That would be Pete and Betty Dye having their anniversary today. That's it.
Oh, okay.
That's all we have.
All right. And if you want to get more on or, I don't know, add to the list that we don't have.
Well, we have some celebrity birthdays.
Yeah, we'll do that here in a bit. So if you want to do that, send the names, birthdays, anniversaries to birthdays@WFLO.net. Otherwise, phone them in, 434-394-0924. And for the right legal advice, visit Terry Atkins Wilson, PC, Main Street in Farmville. So did you want to start with celebrity birthdays?
Can you hear me okay now? I got it. I think it's fixed.
Now you sound fine.
Okay, great. Yeah, if you were born on this date, July 28th, also cartoonist Jim Davis, he's the one that does Garfield.
Yes.
He turns 80 years old today.
I see the same thing, and his fun fact is his first wife was allergic to cats.
Oh, really?
And then he was allergic to her because that was his first wife.
Actor Linda Kelsey, who was on the Lou Grant Show, 79. Jonathan Edwards, singer. Mm-hmm. Sunshine.
Yep.
79 years old. Sally Struthers is 78.
Yep.
Man, I feel old. Drummer Simon Kirk, A Bad Company.
Good
70s. Band. You know, when they first came out, people thought that was actually the Beatles because they sound so much like them.
Okay.
When they came, because the Beatles had broken up by then, and they thought this was just a knockoff. With their first record, I think was Bad Company. Was the name of the song.
I believe it was.
Yeah. Guitarist Steve Morse of Deep Purple is 70. Now, when you hear the Deep Purple, what do you think of? That's all they'll be known for.
Yep.
CBS News anchor Scott Pelley, 68 years old. Bassist Mark Perlman of the Jayhawks is 64 years old. Let's see. We have actor Michael Hayden of Murder One is 62. Actor Elizabeth Berkley of Showgirls, and she was on Saved by the Bell. You probably watched that show.
I did back
in your younger days, didn't you?
When I was a wee lad.
She's 53 today.
Wow.
I think she's older than you.
Yes.
Singer of Froman is, I don't even know who that is 51. Drummer Todd Anderson of Heartland is 50. You have singer Jacoby Shaddix of Papa Roach is 49. Actor John David Washington is 41. He's been in a couple of movies. And actor John Michael Hill, who's in Elementary. Mm-hmm. That's a cute show.
Okay, I've never seen it.
Yeah, it's about some school teachers.
All right.
It's 40. And actor Dustin Milligan of 90210 is also 40. And rapper Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy is 35 today. That's the birthdays we have from Celebrity-Wise.
All right. I believe we have another caller. Let's see if they're still there. Good morning. You're on the Call Flow Radio Show.
Good morning. I'd like to put a name on the birthday calendar for today.
Okay.
It's Ms. Nita Bell Sims of Cumberland, 97 today.
Wow.
Could you
Good
repeat
for
that,
her.
please?
Nita Bell, Neater, and then Bell, Belle.
All right. Well, thank you.
Sims. Ms. Nita Bell Sims.
All right. Well, thank you for calling that in.
97 today.
Yes,
Happy 97th birthday.
Where's she live? She live in Farmville?
in Cumberland.
Cumberland.
Okay.
All right.
Good for her. Tell her happy birthday
Okay.
for us.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye.
Okay.
All right.
John, this is the story that caught my eye. You might appreciate this too because this is the Nielsen. And what they've done is they rank the top 20 streaming programs for the first half of this year, 2025.
All right.
Because they were saying, well, what is going on here? If you want to take that call first, we can do that before I get into this.
Well, let's see. Let's flip a quarter. All right, we'll take it real quick. Good morning. You're on the Call Flow Radio Show.
I wanted to put another name, Leroy Langhorn of Farmville birthday today.
Leroy, what was the last name?
Langhorn.
All right.
Yes,
Like the
of
rooster.
Farmville.
Okay.
Yes, Langhorn. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you.
Okay, thank you again.
Okay. Bye. All right. You may proceed, sir.
All right. Anyway, Nielsen did this rating of the top 20. Here's what's interesting about, because one of the shows that made the top 20 is really my all-time favorite show.
Okay.
I love this show, and I'll explain. And I'm right in that age bracket where this show has come on. But anyway, they ranked the top 20. Out of all that top 20, Disney only had one title out of that top 20. And that was Bluey, which comes from Australia. Doesn't even come from California.
Okay.
All right. And here, and Disney spends billions of dollars. You know, you had Star Wars streaming. You have all this double that. You know, they kind of destroyed Star Wars, didn't they? They had, But here's what: Grey's Anatomy was in the top 20. NCIS, Family Guy was in there. SpongeBob SquarePants came in at number 6.
Okay.
SpongeBob, the top 10. Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
Well, here's one show that came in the top 20, which kind of surprised everybody. At number 18, and my favorite show, Gunsmoke.
Ah, yes. Let me ask you now.
From 1955 to 1975.
At one time, one of the longest running shows ever.
It went for 20 years.
And I do want to ask, now that show ran for so long. Originally, that show was a half hour in black and white.
And it went an hour for a while.
Well, I think it stayed that way.
Stayed that way,
once,
but I think it's like 10 years later.
Then they went to color and all that stuff.
Because they didn't have color in 1955.
So what did you prefer? It's a show kind of like MASH. You have like changeover in the cast.
You do.
So did you prefer the old black and whites when it was Chester, or did you prefer more Festus later on? Or did
Well,
you-
Festus
or
also
you
did
like-
black and whites.
He did show up in some black and whites.
I like the old black and whites with Chester and Festus. Festus, one of my favorite. Festus Hagen, one of my favorite characters.
Golly Bill,
That's
man.
it. Yeah, of all time. But here's the thing. There's also, and they did a study on this.
Okay.
They said, why would Gunsmoke, a show that's like 60, 70 years old, show up? Why are people watching that? Come to find out, most of the people watching that
Yeah,
are older men
of course.
over 60.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, it's a big thing. So they went on to find out why was this going on? What are we missing here? Because you had all of these Disney and Netflix, you know, multi-billion, $1 shows, and it didn't even make the top 20.
Wow.
You know, but you had stuff like Family Guy and SpongeBob and Criminal, yeah. So they said, what's the thing with Gunsmoke? Well, what they found out was, in talking to people, they said, you know, they first of all, they had relatable characters, right?
Right.
And these characters strive to do the right thing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Dillon would always do what is right.
Yep.
He never falters at all there.
Yep.
And sometimes they're faced with real difficult choices. That was in there. And they say Gunsmoke endured because it was just timeless. It's a mature show. It's well written. It's a drama that appeals. It says the reason it does well, it appeals to normal people.
Yeah.
Because it's about normal people, and that's what they found out.
Did you know
there.
who introduced the first episode of Gunsmoke on the air?
Well, John Wayne.
Yes, it was, and that's one of the things he said. It's adult, and all this other, and he even said something along the lines of, "No, I'm not in it, but I wish I was."
Well,
though."
see, James Arness was his friend. That's who
he was in
recommended
his movie
to play
company
Matt.
because
Right.
he's actually in a Hondo. If you watch, there's a scene where James Arness is in Hondo.
Oh, yeah.
And so John Wayne, they asked him originally to do it, and of course he wasn't going to give up his movie career to do TV. And supposedly the story is he talked James Arness into taking the role. Now I mean maybe take back a few, but yeah. But there's funny stories about Gunsmoke.
Well, you know, before that, it was a radio drama.
Yes,
On the 40s.
William Conrad, I think, was the voice of Matt Dillon.
Jimmy Stewart played in that sometime at some point.
Okay.
But,
I want to say Floyd the
yeah.
barber. He was Doc on the radio. I mean,
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah,
it was something like that.
It was a radio drama
Yeah.
for years, and they took it
and they
over
thought
to
about
TV.
casting those people, but William Conrad was a heavy, portly man, and he didn't
Remember,
fit the image.
also Burt Reynolds was in Gunsmoke
Yes,
for
he
many
was.
seasons, and when they interviewed Burt Reynolds,
Yeah.
he's no longer with us, but they asked him, of all the success you've had, all the movies, all the TV shows, he said, the one I enjoyed the most, he said, was Gunsmoke. He said, I could have done Gunsmoke for the rest of my life. He said that. He said, I love doing that show.
He even went so far as to say, now his dad, who was an actual sheriff lawman in Florida when he was growing up, his dad never thought much of his choice of a career until he appeared on Gunsmoke because he loved James Arness.
Yeah.
His dad. So when he was doing that, he was like, that was the one time my dad was really proud of me when I was on Gunsmoke. But that's a great show, and my dad weaned me on it, and I watch it.
But I thought it was interesting. The top 20, and here they show up. A show
Yep.
from 1955, 1975. And a lot of people are supposed to, like I say, older men. That's what they're finding out, are really attracted to it, all of us. It's like we used to watch it when we were little.
Right.
And now we're going back to it because it was just such a great show. You realize how good it was.
We have various
at that particular
networks
time.
running it. Right now, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I want to say TV Land still maybe runs it.
There's a lot of them starting.
Western Channel,
More,
I think,
more of them are
runs it.
picking it up.
Yeah.
And they're starting to offer. I think you can go on
if it's
Amazon Prime now, and even they've added it to stream.
Yeah. But I think IFC may run it. There's other, there's definitely multiple channels where you can catch it and watch that show. It's pretty much on every night if you look for it,
Oh yeah.
or during the day.
And back then, when they made TV shows, they would, for a season for them was like 30 shows.
Right.
Not 8 or 10, what they're doing now.
And they were longer, too.
And, they would, that was, their season was a whole year. Now your season are done, and, like you have a fall season and a spring. They count that as season 1, season 2.
Right.
And they would do 8 or 10 episodes. But, back then they would do 30 shows a year.
Yeah.
So who knows how many episodes of Gunsmoke.
The thing I never knew about James Arness was when he was a surfer, he liked to surf. And so it was always funny for me to picture him on a surfboard.
Hey, the guy was 6'7".
Yeah. But anyway.
Oh, well.
I could talk about Gunsmoke all day.
Do you watch that show?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I watched. Yeah, that's what. Golly, Bill, Matthew, and all this other stuff.
Yeah, I love Festus.
Yeah, Festus is great. It's one of those toady frogs and all that sort of. Yeah, him and Doc were always funny together.
Another thing that strikes me this week, and not to change the subject, but we had a lot of celebrity deaths.
Yes.
In the last week. Ozzy Osbourne, I guess, getting a lot of
Ozzy, Malcolm, Jamal Warner, who was on the Cosby Show.
Yep.
Of course, you had Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan, the Hulk.
Yeah.
Is gone. I actually saw Hulk Hogan. My son, I think, was 11, and he wanted to go to see the wrestling match.
Right.
And I'd never been before, so they were coming to the Richmond Coliseum, and Hulk Hogan wrestled Andre the Giant.
Oh, yeah.
So I took him. I said, we'll go. I went to there, and, first thing I noticed, and it was almost a sellout in the Richmond Coliseum. And the thing I noticed was I'd never seen so many bleach blondes, maybe more so than the beach there. But Hulk, that's one of those things. He actually lifted. I mean, you have to be impressed.
Yeah.
When Hulk Hogan lifted up Andre the Giant and slammed him down on the mat, because Andre weighed like 500 pounds or whatever. But
Hulk wasn't. He had a good size to him. He was, I want to say 6'8" or something. He was pretty tall.
He still looked like a dwarf.
Oh yeah, compared to Andre, yeah, but
it was interesting. I thought,
guy.
wow, that's I'd never seen anything like.
He was 6 something. I don't remember what it was.
And it's wrestling, not wrestling, but
that's
wrestling.
right, brother. I'm gonna grab you and rip you.
There you go. It's called wrestling, not wrestling. You got to remember that. This is not wrestling. This is wrestling.
I always wondered how he could talk like that and not have a sore throat after the end of the day.
I don't know, but we lost Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep.
Here's an interesting story about that too.
Okay.
Ozzy, there's a company taking advantage of this. There's a company called Liquid Death. Are you familiar with that?
I've heard of it.
Liquid, it's actually a water company.
Right. And
it sells water in aluminum cans, and it has this skull design. Mm-hmm. And it has a slogan there called "Murder Your Thirst." It's it's popular among young people.
Yeah.
And it claims because it's in the aluminum can, it's more sustainable, obviously, than plastic bottles. But here you've got this can of water that claims to murder your thirst with a skull logo and kind of sarcastic. But
all right.
What happened here? This all started. A graphic designer actually made this up this started in 2018 as a water company somewhere out on the West Coast, and I think he kind of laughed at him because he's starting this, but now it's over $1 billion company, right?
Wow!
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
They're selling empty cans. They have iced tea now. Okay. Liquid Death iced tea.
All right.
And that was one of Ozzy Osbourne's favorite drinks. He would drink.
I absolutely loved it. Yeah. I love that drink.
Yeah, and the iced tea. So they're selling empty cans of their iced tea that Ozzy Osbourne had drank from.
Okay.
Seriously.
All right.
For $450, you could buy one of these. One of these cans if you're an Ozzy Osbourne fan. And they only had 10 of them. They had 10 cans, and now Ozzy drank from each can, and then he crushed them.
Okay.
He was, and this was just last year. He's 70. I think he was 76, if I'm not mistaken,
like that,
somewhere around there, right? So once he crushed those cans, they took those cans and they put them in a tube with airtight packaging, and then Ozzy signed them. So the selling point of this Liquid Death company is you have infinitely recyclable Ozzy, and they're promoting the fact that the cans have these trace amounts of his DNA on them,
Okay.
which you could do whatever you want in case you want to possibly clone Ozzy Osbourne.
Here's
I'm
another
thinking-
clan. Here's another clan.
And I thought, who would want to do that?
Trust the same people that want to buy a can of somebody like
You
that.
know, but then I had a question there. Here's the other, and then I thought, okay, somebody wants he's got his DNA on there, so some might want to clone him. Is it legal to clone a human being?
I wouldn't think so, but I don't know.
Actually, it is
No.
in 10 states.
I did not
Now, it's
know
illegal
that.
in a lot of countries. They have that, but it's a little more complicated. You know, you just can't, go down here to Lowe's and get all the stuff together and start cloning people. But
Right.
But oh, by the way, those 10 cans sold out immediately. So, and what they'll do, they'll put them on the internet and they'll sell them anymore. But yeah, there's no federal laws in the United States which actually bans cloning completely. I found out. And Congress actually voted a few times since 1998 to ban this, and each time it hasn't passed. It's actually failed.
Yeah.
They have this thing called Stem Cell Research Enhancement Act. So, and actually it did pass. It went through the Senate at one time. George Bush, the president, the second George Bush, actually vetoed it.
Okay.
I don't know why, but
I'm curious as how that works. Forgive my ignorance. So if you clone someone, do they have to be like small and grow up, or are they automatically adult age?
I don't know. But if you can clone someone, you think you could get some DNA of Raquel Welch?
Yeah, I guess
I could think of a few others too here, but there are 10 states: California, Connecticut, Maryland's the closest one to us, and New Jersey. Now, all of these have clone and kill laws. They prevent cloned embryo implantation for childbirth. But here's the thing: they allow embryos to be destroyed. It makes no sense. But nonetheless, the Patients First Act 2017 aims to promote stem cell research. That's what the clone is for, as long as for ethically obtained cells.
Okay.
For that. And but yeah, who would you want to clone if you could clone somebody?
Oh boy, well, John Wayne might be one of them.
Yeah, well, they can make movies of him right now with AI,
Yeah, they could,
and you wouldn't even know the difference.
and I would go see him because I'd rather see him than what they're passing along as entertainment these days. As long as they write him correctly. Now, if they got him doing crazy stuff, I wouldn't want to see that.
Well, what is your favorite TV show? I know you like the old MASH and things like that.
Yeah,
so.
like The Wild Wild West. My dad got me hooked on that. That was a 60s TV show with Robert Conrad, someone else who...
He was like a Secret Service agent or something?
But he in the Western era.
Right.
So he was James Bond on horseback is how they sort of came up with that. Yeah, and Conrad would get into all these fights. He'd take on like 10, 15 guys and come out on top. And then his partner, who was played by Ross Martin, Artemis Gordon, was a master of disguise. And that actor was so good, he could do different dialects. And
I remember Ross Martin. Yeah, I remember that.
So they were like, it was a team, really. It was like a duo. And that show, I would have to dare say, if somebody said, "Hey, what's your favorite show?" like you're doing, I would point to that one and go, "That's probably my favorite." Which still comes on MeTV on Saturday mornings, like at 10:00. And I do not like the Will Smith movie that was made years ago. Not a fan of that. But I like a lot of shows. But that one, I don't get tired of going back and looking at because it made an impression on me, even though it was a 60s show. But they were showing a lot of its rerun type old shows, at least on satellite when I was a kid. So, I mean, I grew up watching Andy Griffith and MASH, like you said, and different shows like the Gunsmoke. So I have an appreciation for anything that came before me. I noticed.
You mentioned you watched them on satellite. You have a big dish in your yard.
That was what was sold to us as a kid. He was like, "All right, swimming pool or satellite dish." Mind you, swimming pool is only good for the summer.
Because those dish were like as big as this room.
It was
I remember,
huge.
Yeah.
It was huge. And you could just scan. And I would find the craziest things back then when it was unregulated like it used to be. and I would find like football games being broadcast, and all the audio was from the stadium itself. There was no, I couldn't hear commentary. I didn't hear John Madden or Pat Summerall. I just heard Emmitt Smith for a 5-yard run. I'd hear the announcer.
The booth announcer.
Yeah, and that sort of stuff. So it was neat, and I wasted a lot of time watching a lot of television.
Well, we got a few minutes left. If anybody wants to give us a call before we get off the air, we're at 434-394-0924. 394-0924.
What's your favorite show?
Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke? Okay. I figured I'd ask anyway.
I don't watch a lot of TV, but
I don't anymore, but I used to.
Yeah, it's been, there's this story out of Florida. This is in Tallahassee.
Okay.
I thought it was, Chuck E. Cheese. We still have a Chuck E. Cheese. We have a couple of them in Richmond.
I want to hear about this.
Oh, yeah. This is, Chuck E. Cheese. This was Chuck E. Cheese in Tallahassee.
Okay.
And they have the Chuck E. Cheese mouse. This is a big, the big guy.
Oh, yeah.
And they're having all these kids' parties going on, and he's in there
Right.
dancing, and he's doing all this stuff. Next thing you know, the police come busting in. And they're after Chuck E. Cheese. They arrest this gigantic mouse in front of all these kids who are screaming and hollering and carrying on. It was a boatload, they said, of children at the Tallahassee store. The parents were kind of bored, just kind of, what's going on? Anyway, they had to chase the mouse. They finally got him, and they cuffed the guy. He still had his mouse outfit on. And then they forced him to do this perp walk out of the restaurant.
Like to me they would have taken his mask off for the
Some of
kids.
the little kids were scared, like,
Yeah.
what's going on?
Yeah.
Come to find out, he was stealing credit cards.
That's right.
The mouse was stealing credit cards. But anyway, they didn't take his mask off until they got him out to the car. They couldn't get him in the car. But here he was.
That's the only reason.
The Chuck E. Cheese mouse can you imagine that, in handcuffs, being walked out of the store, and all these little kids there are just crazy.
Well, that's like going to Disney World and watching Goofy get handed. Oh, well, I didn't do it. No, it wasn't me.
Oh my gosh, that was anyway. He had stolen more than one. He's stolen several credit cards, and they traced him down to there, and they got him. But I thought that was
that's funny.
And then there's this
not
story,
to the kids though.
And then there's a story about this guy over in Brisbane, Australia.
Yeah.
He went through this shopping center, big mall there, and they have this big shoe store there. He sells luggage, and they have all the, and he stole, 53 shoes. He was able to get away with it. But here's the thing.
Yeah.
It was just the right shoe.
Okay.
Not the left.
Yeah.
53 right foot shoes.
So what was the reason?
They got him on security. Well, because the stores, when they have them, he stole the ones on display. Normally they only display one shoe.
Correct.
And this one was the right. And now this dumb crook, I guess, didn't realize.
Oh, okay.
And so he steals 53 of these. He's still on the run. They don't know
With
where he
one
is,
shoe,
but he's
anyway.
got 53 right foot shoes.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the left foot shoes are still in the back in the warehouse storage. I don't know. But they said so far it's been over $7,000 worth of shoes. That's just the one shoe. If you take it's actually $14,000 if you count the left shoe, which they can't use anymore.
Right.
So they're on the lookout for this guy. If he's wearing any of those shoes, he can only go one direction, I guess. But
yeah.
nonetheless,
it's funny that someone doesn't realize that that's exactly what you said. That they only use one shoe for the display and that's it.
yeah. Some use the left foot. I don't know
Right.
what some of the shoe stores
Right,
you have
left.
to look. Some will just put the left shoe out. Others will put the right shoe out, and they do that for a reason because they don't want them stolen. They don't want a whole set,
Right,
whole shoes
right.
being stolen. So
Well,
that's
makes
why they
sense.
only display one shoe most of the time.
Well, this guy
Sometimes
said,
you
"I'll
see-
show you. I will steal them, regardless."
I don't think he knew.
No,
that.
he didn't. Oh man. Well, yeah. I guess even our criminal element is not as intelligent as they used to be.
Well, even in Australia, they're not that smart, apparently. In
Yeah.
Australia, people don't realize, Australia has actually a big place. There's actually less than 30 million people population there.
And the wonderful history of that is that started as a prison colony type thing, right?
Yeah. That's where England, they sent their prisoners. And also, the majority, over 90% of the population lives on the coast.
Okay.
It's kind of like Canada. You have Canada. Canada has under 50 million people total.
Okay.
But 90% of them live within 50 miles of the U.S. border.
Of course.
You have all that space out there. So, which was almost our 51st state, I guess.
Yeah.
John, it's been a pleasure.
Dan,
really
thank you
enjoyed
for
it. Thank
coming
you
in.
so
I'm glad
much.
you got to speak to Henry.
Yeah, me too. So that was nice.
And it's always good to see you. You come back anytime you want.
Yeah, I will. I love coming to Farmville. I come here, do some errands and things like that, especially this time of year.
Right.
It's not as crowded because school, Longwood's not in session.
Right.
But Longwood, I think 3 more weeks. Somewhere
Something
around
like
August.
it's right around the corner, yeah.
August, classes begin August 26th.
Sounds about right.
So, nonetheless.
Again, thanks.
Have a good one, man.
You
Thank
too.
you
You
so
take
much.
care, Dan.
You too.
All right. We are done for the day. We'll be back tomorrow.
WFLO AM 870, Farmville.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. President Trump and European Union Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announcing a sweeping trade deal that raises